Good morning. How are you? Good, good. To our Calvert campus, Alexandria online, everybody else, good morning. My name's Curtis. If we haven't met yet, I am the leadership development pastor here at New Life, and today we're going to be in Luke, the book of Luke, Gospel of Luke. I was taught always start with Scripture. That way, if your sermon's bad, at least they got the word. So we're going to start here. Go to Luke chapter 19. Luke chapter 19. And here we're going to find ourselves with a man named Zacchaeus. So it's chapter 19. It says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. So on its face, that doesn't mean a lot to us, right? He's a chief tax collector. We know that he collected money. He worked for the state, the government. He was collecting taxes, and we know that he was important. He was the chief. He was in charge. What else does it tell us? It tells us that he was wealthy. It tells us he had a good amount of money. So, but in context, understanding the history of this a little bit, it gives us a little bit more insight to who Zacchaeus was and what we're about to learn in this story about him. You see, back then, a tax collector, a lot of times, like Zacchaeus, every account I've read, they believe Zacchaeus was a Jew. He was a Jew, but he was a Jew who worked for Rome. Now understand, if you're Jewish, Rome is the enemy. Rome is the one that's oppressing you. Rome is the one taking money out of your pocket. Rome is the one that we don't like. So in somebody like Zacchaeus' case, what's happening? Zacchaeus is now a traitor. Why? Because Zacchaeus sold out. What did he sell out for? Money. I sold out and I left my people and my heritage and who I'm supposed to be to put some money in my pocket. So he's hated. He's despised. I mean, you could say he's a bad guy. Who would do that? Who would abandon their own people to put money in their pocket? So Zacchaeus was disliked, and look, I mean, maybe you'd agree with me. There are bad people. People do bad things. Now, you don't believe me? I have the most beautiful one-year-old daughter on the planet. I'm sorry if you have a one-year-old daughter. Her name is Olivia, and she looks at me and puts her arms up, and she up, and I pick her up, and she just hugs and cuddles. And at Pastor Mike's house, they have this little fluffy dog, and her name's Bailey. And Bailey and Olivia, it was love at first sight. The first time Olivia saw her, she panicked, arms in the air, she's spinning around. Bailey's freaking out, jumping up and down, barking. They start kissing each other. I'm like, all right. So Olivia always does this. Bailey will be on the couch, and Olivia walks up to her, and she starts patting her. And then she always goes, nice, and she puts her head on her. Oh. The other day, Olivia walked up to Bailey, and Bailey's sitting there just innocent. Didn't do nothing wrong. And Olivia starts patting her, and she puts her head on her. She said, nice. And then something happened. I watched her hand do this, and I watched her eyes open up. I watched her lips curl up like my mom does when my mom gets mad, and I watched her head turn. I was like, what just happened? What was that? No. And all of a sudden, Olivia gets mad, and Olivia grabs her. I said, no, stop. And then I left the house. I'm like, I don't want to be around this anymore. This freaked me out. This sweet, nice, cute, adorable little one-year-old has this thing in her that freaks me out. Look, there are bad people. I'm sorry to say it. You're one of them. Because if she's bad, you're bad. There's something in us. All right? There's something in us. Look, I have 6 little sisters, so I know what's coming. That's why I left. I'm like, that's your kid now. Sorry. You know what 6 little sisters is? Birth control. That's what that is when you're an older brother. So there are bad people. That's your first point. I don't have the TV because it scares me because Pastor Mike always messes up with it. So there are bad people. If you're taking notes, write it down. If you're not taking notes, write it down. All right. So verse 3. He wanted to see Jesus. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. I get it. I get it. I get it. I can't see over my wife. Look, you think when we take pictures, she stands behind me. She puts her hands on my shoulders like she's my mom and I'm 8. And you can see her. If I stand behind her, I'm looking the base of her neck. So I get it. But remember, getting back into the context of the story, Zacchaeus goes and he's a short man, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd, so he ran ahead and he climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. So put yourself back in his shoes. Yes, I can't see over the crowd, so I need to climb this tree in order to get a view, but understand he was used to being in the tree. He was used to being by himself. Why? His people didn't want him around. He was a traitor. Rome despised him. He was just a tool to use to count money and take it. He had no one. So the beginning of this story, you're mad at him. Why? He's a bad man. But now you start reading and you're like, oh, he's lost. He doesn't have anybody. He's hurt. He's broken. He doesn't have Rome, the people that employ me hate me. My people hate me. I can't go back to my family. I can't go back to my friends. I have no one. He's used to being in the tree. And he climbs to get a view of this man. Why? Because I heard of somebody. I heard of somebody who came, somebody that won't judge me for the decisions I made. Somebody that's come and somebody that will love me for me. I heard of this person that can set people free, can heal me. And I might not need healing from a broken arm, but I have a broken heart. So he's up in this tree and he's looking and he's just hoping. He's hoping because understand he's a Jew. He grew up with the stories of the Messiah. He's expecting the Messiah to come. He's expecting somebody to come to give him hope, somebody to come to conquer fear, to conquer sin, to conquer death, somebody to come and redeem Israel. He's waiting for it and he's ready. So he's in the tree. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up to him. Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. The King James Version said he came down in haste. My man just jumps out of the tree. Little people are versatile. Come on, somebody. We climb up, jump down. You want us on your side. This man finally comes face to face with somebody that he hopes is who he says he is. There's a lot of people that aren't who they say they are. And he's heard the stories, he's heard what he's been through, and he wants that. I want to walk with him, I want to be with him, I want this new life. But understand what Jesus did in this moment. Jesus is surrounded by people. He's walking through a crowd. So he has people, heal me, heal me. He has people calling out to him, who are you? Are you a prophet? He has people grabbing his clothes. He has people, and a lot of them are Jewish. Maybe all of them, I don't know. Wasn't there. But they're grabbing at this man, and Jesus walks through the ones who deserve him and looks up to the one that everybody despises and says, I want you. All the people saw this and began to mutter, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. Your first point is they're bad people. Your second point is the world demands that we condemn them. The world demands that we condemn them. I want justice. Why? Because it's what they deserve. Why? because they're bad people. The lost. What does lost mean? Lost means if I'm somewhere and I'm lost, if I'm in the woods and I'm lost, that means I'm scared to take a step, because if I take another step, have you ever been lost before? I've been in the woods before and I've been lost, and you're scared to take a step because I don't know if that step constitutes progress or it increases the severity of my lostness. Lost is lost. And if that little cute 1-year-old girl is bad and you're bad, then what constitutes bad? What's worse? And if justice is served, then that means I burn in hell. I don't want justice, I want grace. And if it's true for me, then it's true for him. If it's true for him, then it's true for you. That's what we need. We need the grace, and this is what Jesus is teaching in the moment. But society tells us to condemn. Society tells us to put down. Society tells us to put them in their place. And this isn't unity. That's not unity. That's not oneness. That's division. And we act like we're solving the problem with this. We're not solving the problem. We're fostering the cause. We're just fighting the symptoms. We're fostering the cause of sin. Because we're fighting the people. We're fighting the wrong fight. The problem is sin. The problem's not the person. Why? The person's lost. If they knew where to go, if they knew where they were supposed to go, and you're like, well, they know. No, they don't. They haven't met him. Because if they would jump out of the tree. All these people saw this and began to mutter, he is gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, so I guess he fell down. Not that versatile, apparently. He said, look, Lord, here and now, I give half my possessions to the poor, and if I've cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. Everything that I put my value in, everything that I put my worth in, everything that I put my hope in is nothing, because I finally found it. I finally found you. I finally found the one that was going to give me what I was looking for in the money. I finally found the one that was going to give me what I was looking for this whole time. I couldn't find it in the money. I couldn't find it in the success. I couldn't find it in the programs. I couldn't find it in the books. I couldn't find it I couldn't find it, but now I found it. He found what he was looking for. I love this next line. Jesus looks at him. Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. Wait, what do you mean this man too is a son of Abraham? He was already a son of Abraham. He's a Jew. He was born a son of Abraham. Jesus is saying, no. You don't understand. It used to be that your heritage made you a son of God. But I've come with the new covenant. And the new covenant says you're the son of God. Yeah, the new covenant says that you're saved. You're the son of Abraham. You're a descendant of Abraham when you choose to jump out of the tree. Here's the problem. We got a whole church hiding in a tree. We're clinging on for dear life to the branches, to the things that we think are going to save us, the things that we think are safe, and we won't let go, and we come week after week after week, and it's our effort, and we're climbing. I'm getting up the tree. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything. I'm trying. Look, it takes effort to climb a tree. It takes faith to jump down. I can climb the tree in my strength. I need his courage to let go. And the problem is we keep climbing and we keep trying and we keep trying harder and harder and harder, but we're clinging on. This man too is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. Lost is lost. This sermon's on forgiveness. Because we condemn people and we put them down. and tell them who they're supposed to be and put our thoughts on who they're supposed to be. This sermon was written months ago, and it was scheduled for today. Tuesday morning, I woke up, and I opened my phone, and I have a couple missed calls and a couple of text messages. One text is from my brother. He said, "You still coming through on Sunday?" The next text was from my dad. It said, "Your brother got shot. He was murdered. His wife got shot. She's dead too." His 10-year-old son was shot 4 times. He's in the hospital. He's in critical condition. Your 3-year-old niece is all right. She wasn't hit. The man who shot him, you know, and he killed himself. What do you do? What am I supposed to do in that moment? I just woke up. I'm still groggy. I'm in shock. I walk over to the bathroom. I put my hands on the counter. I'm just looking in the mirror. I'm not crying. I'm just there. And I hear this voice. It said, "Come sit with me." Okay. So I go and I sit down and I open the Word. And I'm reading through Matthew with a group of guys, and we're on 14, and I open, and I'm at Matthew 14. John the Baptist is beheaded. Jesus' cousin. Jesus' blood. This is Jesus' guy. They don't talk very often, don't get to see each other very often, but that's his brother. It's his family. How does Jesus respond? What does he do? It says that Jesus goes and he gets on a boat and he goes to be alone. He goes to process. He goes to pray. He goes to think. He goes to get away to try to process it. And then it says the crowds found out where he was, and I guess it was a lake. They walked and they found him. And he said he turned and he had compassion on them and he began to teach. In his brokenness and his heartache, he turned and had compassion. So I got in the car and I just drove. At this point, I'm a mess. I sent Matilda a video just to let her know what happened and told her I was going to be driving. I don't know where I'm going. I just need to be by myself. And I'm sitting there and I'm praying. And I'm like, God, how could this happen? He's a bad man. He killed my brother. How could you shoot a 10-year-old? He's a kid. He didn't do anything wrong. How could you? God, he's a bad man. And I heard God tell him, I love him. I love him. Lost is lost. God, but he killed my brother. How can I forgive the person that killed my brother? And he said, I forgave the ones that killed my son. So who am I to sit in the seat and pick up that gavel and tell him that he's a bad person and he's a bad man? Who am I to condemn him? Who am I to not forgive somebody? Lost is lost. I don't know what he's been through. I don't know what his childhood was like. The drugs, the pain, the heartache. I don't know what he's been through. Other people that were involved in this, I don't know them. I'm not the judge. I'm not qualified. And you're not either. So what are you holding on to? Look, a week ago, I could have come here and I could have preached on forgiveness, and you would have said, what do you know? You want to have that conversation now? I forgive him, and if he was here, I would have wrapped my arms around him, and I would look at him, and I would tell him I love him, and I would tell him I forgive him. Why? Because we're a part of something bigger. I'm not the point. Jesus is the point. My own pride, my own dignity, my own ego isn't the point. The point is we're on a mission. And what completes this mission is us being together. What completes this mission is unity. Unity is the fruit in this tree of forgiveness. Jesus is hanging on a cross. Hanging on a cross, looking at people rolling dice for his clothes. He came here for them. And one of the last things out of his mouth is, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53:5 came to mind as I was thinking through this. It says, but he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, but by his wounds we are healed. We're out here fighting. We won't let go because somebody said something mean to us on Thanksgiving one time. Get over yourself. We're on a mission. And here's the problem, is I've seen situations like this before. I never thought I'd be in it, but you see it on TV. You see the woman who just had her son murdered hugging the murderer in court. And what do you think? Man, that's a good woman. That's a strong woman. See the person hugging them, that's a strong person. You look at me, you're like, wow, Curtis is strong. You don't get it. I jumped out of the tree. This wasn't by my own strength. This is grace. This is the fruit of jumping out of the tree. I can't forgive him. I wouldn't. I don't want to. I don't have the strength. This isn't me. Me is somebody who hid anger. Me is somebody who hid insecurity. Me is somebody who buried these things deep down inside and it boiled over. And if a situation like this would have happened in the past, you would have seen the anger and you would have seen the rage and you would have seen me crying out for justice, but I've been given grace and I want to give it. So I sit here. Look, ask Johnny. Every time I get the chance to preach, I cry. Every time. This time I have a pretty good excuse. But every time I cry. Why? Because I've been without him. And I look at the people in front of me that are hugging onto the tree for dear life. And I'm like, you have no idea what happens when you let go. You have no idea what happens when you let go of your own pride, when you let go of everything that you think means something, everything that you think is important. This is all temporary. Everything we see, everything we know, it goes away, it passes, but there's a new life, there's more, there's eternity, there's more to come, and that's what I'm fighting for. That's what you're supposed to be fighting for. That's what we're supposed to be fighting for. We're the church, but we're mad at somebody because they're wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. We're mad at somebody because they said something to us one time. We're condemning people we don't know. The administration isn't going to fix this. The government isn't going to be your solution. It's like, well, I guess I got to forgive people like you've forgiven, but nothing's happened to me like that. Yeah, but you haven't forgiven your family member that's right next to you. Unity comes from us doing what we're supposed to do with what we have in front of us. I can't control everything else, but I can control this. It's a lot of yelling, I'm sorry. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It's the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast." And you're like, Curtis, but I've been hurt and it hurts. I know it hurts. But we have work to do. And if I've been forgiven, then I can forgive. My brother wasn't a Christian. I'll end here. My brother would never step foot in a church. But a couple months ago, he called me. And he knew who I was. We talked about it. He knew what I believed. And he told me he saw the change in me. And a couple months ago, he called me and he said, "Kurt, I want to start teaching my son to give back. I want to start teaching him to serve. And you always tell me about what you're doing at the church. Can we come and help?" I'm like, yeah. I couldn't even be there. I was out of town, but he came and he brought his son and he served. I don't honor God's name with revenge and with justice. I don't honor my brother with revenge and with justice. I honor my brother by being who I said I was, who I told him I am. And not just when it's good and not just when it's easy, but when it's hard and when it hurts. I will jump out of that tree over and over and over again. Because everything that God promised, the peace, the joy, the love, I've always thought it sounded great. And I've always known it was there, but right now I'm experiencing it in a way that I've never experienced it before. That peace and that joy that only comes from Him, I have it. It hurts, but I have peace. It's painful, but I have joy. And I can't control the past, but I can control right now. And what I can do is what Jesus did and go get by myself, which is my favorite thing to do anyway. But I can also use this moment to teach. And I can also use this moment to hopefully help somebody else. That's what I can do. There's 3 groups of people here listening to this. Maybe you're somebody who hasn't forgiven somebody else. Maybe because of anger, maybe because of pride, maybe you've been hurt. It's time to let go. A lot of us, maybe you don't have a problem forgiving somebody else, but you haven't forgiven yourself. It's time to let go. It's like, but I've been trying, Curtis. I've been trying. I know you have. Trying is climbing the tree. But get in the moment where you see Jesus face to face, it's your decision whether you're going to jump out. And then there's that other group of people that you've been hearing about this Jesus for a while, and you're here, you've been trying, you're climbing the tree, and you're like, I don't know how to get there. I want that peace. I want that joy. I want that love. I want everything I've been looking for. I want it. Okay. Let go. I'm going to pray for you. Father, I love you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for what you've done for me. Father, I pray this wouldn't be wasted and that you would use it. I pray for the people that have been playing church. They've been holding on to the tree for years and they won't let go. I pray that they would surrender. The people that haven't forgiven, that they would forgive. The people that haven't forgiven themselves would realize that you've forgiven them, that you paid the price on the cross, that you love them. In your word, you say, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Your yoke is easy, your burden is light. And Father, we pick up these heavy burdens. We pick up that gavel that weighs 10,000 pounds. I pray that we would lay it down. Father, I pray for salvation today. I pray for freedom today. I pray for the families that were affected by this. There's not sides. We're people. Lost is lost. I pray for everyone that's been affected. I pray that Junior pulls through. And God, I pray that Junior and Demi, I pray they come to know you and that they're not bitter and they're not angry. I pray I get to be a part of their life. And I pray they spend their life glorifying you, showing what you can do with pain. Because this isn't life. This is the life that we know. But you've given us life. Let us show the world that.